What happens when you take elements from John Wick, Kill Bill, and kill any sense of logic? You get Action Jackson and some very questionable moments. The last time I watched this, I could not go beyond the 15-minute mark. I just couldn't make sense of all the bogus that was being thrown at me. The only way I could sit through this 3-hour abomination is by killing my brain one cell at a time. The story basically revolves around a street thug who thinks himself to be the center of the universe and who eventually happens to meet a girl with the worst luck that you can imagine. During the course of the nonsensical love story, the thug comes across his twin, or rather his lookalike. The whole theme of doppelgangers and lookalikes has been used and abused even more times than your old shirt that was being turned into a mop or a duster. And the fact that these two lookalikes aren't even twins, they just happen to be at different parts of the world who look exactly like each other.
Wait, what sorcery is this?
Add to that some very horrible character settings, visual effects just for the sake of it, and a very flimsy storyline. And you're left with a movie that I wouldn't see even if my life depended on it. The characters have been written so horribly that the writer should actually be jailed and the key should be thrown away. First, we have Vishy, a local street thug, and AJ, the right-hand man for an international gangster. Both these roles are played by Ajay Devgan. As far as characters goes, that's pretty much it. And Vishy is such a bad dancer, it should actually be a crime.
Chandler, I'm gonna have you arrested. Why? You stole my moves.
Next, we have the love interest, and this is really what gets me worked up. Vishy's love interest, Khushi, has the worst luck imaginable, and only after she sees Vishy's junk, her luck changes in the most idiotic of ways. And she is desperate to turn her luck around, if you know what I mean. Then we have AJ's love interest, Anusha. The only thing that she was maybe asked to do during the course of this film was getting punched, kicked, slapped and stabbed. Finally, we have the bad guys. The international gangster drug lord Xavier and his sister Marina. Both are self-centered and self-entitled egomaniacs who just can't seem to take no for an answer. That's pretty much it from a character's point of view. Mr. Writer, where are you? There's someone I would like you to meet. If I go over the movie sequentially, not only will it be a very long review considering the fact that it's a 3-hour long movie, but also we'll get a headache halfway through the whole movie itself. So let's try a different approach. The movie basically starts with a girl getting beaten up in New Zealand. The moment her head touches the car, what is it with cars in such movies? They just become as light as a feather. Throw a small stone at the car and it will fly 40 feet in the air. Can't they think of something better?
I'm gonna use all the power of my brain.
Why am I not surprised? Now we have Vishy who goes around beating people while doing the most cringe-worthy of dances. One of them can actually be used as an advertisement for an antifungal cream.
जब खुजली हाथ से बाहर निकल जाए, इसगाड़ काम आए.
And fights with even more cringe-worthy animation. Then we have his love interest Khushi. She's literally hooked onto his junk. So much so that when a potential suitor from America comes to see her, she wants to see Vishy's junk so that she can seal the deal for her marriage. Imagine how the meeting would have gone. I like to swim. What about you? Okay, what else do you like? Obsessed with his junk, they both fall for each other and eventually decide to get hitched. There's also a scene in the movie where Khushi's friends wants to see Vishy's junk so that they can also change their luck. But in a turn of events,
it's showtime, baby.
I'm personally surprised that the writer, director, producer and in fact everyone who was involved in making this scene thought that it would be even remotely funny.
You've got to be kidding me.
Folks, there is someone I would like you to meet. This is about the time where I started getting my headache, and revisiting those memories, the headache is coming back once again. So I'll continue this video after taking a small break.
75 years later.
Next we have AJ, Xavier's right-hand man. Xavier's sister Marina was kidnapped by one of his rival gangs, and that's where AJ basically came in to save her. Long story short, several laws of physics were broken. Swords were thrown. And the flow of time was interrupted.
Sweet surprise.
What is going on? Did everyone lose their screws or just bang their heads together?
I don't know.
Marina ends up falling for AJ and shit hits the fan when AJ rejects her. After all, he has a girlfriend. She gets chased by goons more times than you can even care to count. There's a scene in the movie where she goes to the mall for shopping and is chased by goons. Now when she calls AJ, you see AJ running in the mall trying to get to his girlfriend, which is natural. But all of a sudden, right in the next scene, this happens. He was in the mall just a second ago. How did he reach to exactly where Marina is?
So you can teleport. Congratulations.
Eventually, the goons catch up with Anusha when AJ is not around, and she gets slapped, punched, kicked, and even stabbed. But she's still alive. That's when AJ takes her to Mumbai to get treated, and he has been hidden from Marina for about 5 months or so. By the way, she's pregnant and she also gives birth. They just decided to skip that whole section altogether. Eventually, Xavier gets wind of AJ's whereabouts and sends a couple of goons after them. Naturally, they all get killed. When AJ meets Vishy, he basically asks him to take his place and go to meet Xavier so that Anusha gets some time to heal. The director wants Anusha to be up and ready to get beaten even more. When I usually get frustrated, I play Tekken and I use all of the moves possible to vent out my anger at my opponent. That is precisely what the director has done in this movie with Anusha. Her script is pretty much like when Vishy heads over to Bangkok to meet Xavier while pretending to be AJ, Xavier eventually finds out the truth. That's when Anusha gets kidnapped.
Here we go again.
And this time from Mumbai. But wait, here's the plot twist. It's actually AJ pretending to be Vishy, pretending to be AJ.
That's it, I'm getting out of here.
One final action scene in the warehouse, swords are thrown. You don't use a sword like that, come on. AJ then punches Marina. She just went flying from one corner of the warehouse to the other. Eventually, Xavier is also killed and there's a blast in the warehouse. Excuse me, the person in this movie who is responsible for special effects, Marina has a message for you. With that, the movie basically comes to an end.
Oh, thank God.
I would really like to meet the writer of this movie.
Yes, he's the man. Yeah.
To summarize the movie, instead of watching Action Jackson, you actually might find this alternative to be better.
Oh, dear God, no!
The release of this movie must have come as quite a shocker to films in general. So much so that instead of spending money on a security surveillance system, you can just play this movie on an endless loop. No one will even dare rob you.
Thanks for the advice.
I wouldn't want to be ever reminded of this movie ever again in my entire life. Will I recommend this movie to anyone?
Oh, no, I can't.
After all, I wouldn't want to be woken up in the middle of the night with a call.
I will look for you. I will find you. And I will kill you.
So please do yourself a favor and avoid this movie at all costs. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you liked the video. If you like to stay notified on any time I upload new content, click on the subscribe button along with the notification icon. Feel free to leave your comments and suggestions down below. Stay tuned for more content, and in the meanwhile, stay safe and keep smiling.